My beloved child, before this message ends, you will finally understand why I allowed you to wait while others moved ahead of you. You thought you were falling behind. You thought I had forgotten your prayers, ignored your tears, and overlooked the dreams buried deep inside your heart. But listen to me carefully now, because what I am about to reveal will change the way you see every painful delay, every closed door, every lonely season, and every silent night you cried yourself to sleep wondering where I was. I was there. I never left. While you were worrying the time was running out, I was secretly building something inside you that could not be destroyed by failure, betrayal, disappointment, or delay. You were never behind, my child. You were being prepared by my own hands. Stop scrolling for a moment and give me your full attention, because this message was not placed before you by accident. I arranged this moment long before today arrived. I knew the exact second your weary heart would need these words. I know how tired you are from pretending to be strong. I know how exhausting it has been to watch people around you celebrate breakthroughs while you remained hidden in silence. I know the questions you never spoke out loud. Lord, when will it finally be my turn? Why does it feel like everyone else is moving forward while I stay stuck in the same place? My child, heaven heard every one of those questions. And now I am answering you personally. You have been measuring your life against human timing, but I do not operate according to the clocks of this world. I do not rush what is sacred. I do not release blessings before the soul is ready to carry them. While you were begging me to move faster, I was protecting your future from things you could not yet see. Some doors stayed closed because danger stood behind them. Some opportunities disappeared because they would have distracted you from your true purpose. Some people walked away because they were never meant to enter the next chapter of your life. You called it rejection, but I called it rescue. You called it delaying, but I called it design. You thought I was saying no, when really I was saying, not yet, my precious child, because I love you too much to release you before the appointed time. Do you know how many times I protected you without your knowledge? Do you know how many attacks I blocked while you slept? There were moments the enemy believed he had finally broken your spirit. There were nights darkness whispered lies into your mind, telling you that you were forgotten, abandoned, too late, too damaged, too weak to fulfill your purpose. But every time that enemy tried to destroy you, my hand stood between you and complete collapse. I carried you through seasons you thought would bury you forever. Even when your faith was trembling, I remained faithful. Even when you questioned me, I never questioned my plans for you. My child, the hidden season was never punishment. It was preparation. I hid you because your calling was too valuable to expose too early. A seed buried underground may look forgotten to the world, but hidden beneath the soil, roots are forming in silence. Strength is developing where nobody can see it. Growth is happening in secret places long before the first sign of life breaks through the surface. That is exactly what I have been doing within you. While others saw delay, I saw development. While others overlooked you, heaven watched you closely. While you feared nothing was happening, I was shaping your character, healing your wounds, strengthening your spirit, and preparing you for responsibilities greater than you can currently imagine. You keep asking why life became so heavy. You keep wondering why the road became lonely. But my child, there are lessons that can only be learned in hidden places. There are dimensions of trust that only grow in seasons where you cannot rely on human applause or visible success. I needed you to know my voice more deeply than before. I needed your identity to become rooted in me instead of the approval of people. Because where I am taking you, public opinion cannot be your source of confidence. You must know who you are even when nobody claps for you. You must trust my promises even when circumstances appear silent. And that is exactly what this hidden season has been teaching your soul. I know you cried over lost time. I know you secretly feared your best years were disappearing while you waited for answers. But hear me clearly now, nothing has been wasted. Not one tear, not one heartbreak, not one season of waiting. I am the God who redeems time itself. I know how to restore what pain tried to steal from you. I know how to take years of disappointment and turn them into testimonies of my faithfulness. What looks impossible to human understanding is effortless for me. I do not need decades to change your life. One moment of my favor can shift everything. One door opened by my hand can accomplish what years of striving never could. Type Amen. Your plan is unfolding if you're watching and work. That is why you must stop believing the lie that you are behind. Behind compared to whom? The world rushes people into places they are not spiritually prepared to handle. Many people celebrate too early only to collapse later under pressure they were never built to carry. But you, my child, I have been building differently. I have been building you slowly, carefully, intentionally. I have been strengthening the invisible parts of your life first because what I established deeply can survive storms publicly. I am not raising fragile blessings in your life. I am building lasting fruit. I am creating stability where chaos once ruled. I am establishing wisdom where confusion once lived. I am producing endurance inside you that will sustain you long after temporary excitement fades away. You must also understand this. The enemy fought you so intensely because he sensed what was coming. Darkness does not attack empty destinies. The warfare surrounding your life was proof that your future carried significance. The enemy hoped discouragement would convince you to quit before your appointed season arrived. You wanted exhaustion to silence your prayers. You wanted disappointment to poison your faith. You wanted delays to make you abandon trust in me completely. But look at you now, my child. You are still here. Wounded perhaps, tired at times, confused in certain moments, but still standing. That alone is evidence of my hand upon your life. And now heaven says the hidden season is beginning to shift. What I have been building quietly will soon become visible. Doors will open that no human effort could force open. Opportunities will appear that only my favor could arrange. People who overlooked you will wonder how your life changed so suddenly, but they did not witness the years I spent preparing you in secret. They did not see the nights you cried in prayer. They did not witness the battles you survived quietly. They only see the breakthrough, but I saw the process. I saw every moment you chose not to give up. So stop mourning the delay. Stop grieving the waiting season as if it was empty. It was holy. It was necessary. It was sacred preparation orchestrated by heaven itself. I was never late. I was building you at the perfect pace for the future I designed specifically for you. And now, my beloved child, the season ahead will reveal why nothing could happen before now. Because what I am about to release into your life requires the version of you that only suffering, waiting, trusting, and hidden preparation could create. My beloved child, I know the thoughts that have been running through your mind for so long. I know how many times you looked around at the lives of other people and quietly asked yourself why everything seemed easier for them while your own journey felt slow, heavy, and uncertain. I saw every moment you smiled in front of others, while secretly battling disappointment inside your heart. I heard the silent questions you never fully spoke aloud because part of you feared the answers. You wondered if somehow you missed your opportunity. You wondered if you had failed me. You wondered if time was slipping away while everyone else moved forward into blessings, relationships, opportunities, and breakthroughs that you had prayed for years to receive. But my child, I need you to hear my voice clearly now. You were never behind. Not for one single moment. The world taught you to measure progress by speed, and taught you to compare your story to the stories of others. It taught you to believe that if something did not happen quickly, then something must be wrong with you. But I never created your life to follow the timeline of other people. I never asked you to race against anyone else. I designed your journey differently because your purpose is different. Yet every day the pressure grew stronger around you. You watched others celebrate milestones while you waited in silence. You watched doors open for people who seemed less faithful, less grateful, and less prepared than you. You watched prayers go unanswered while others appeared to receive blessings effortlessly. And slowly, without realizing it, comparison began to wound your spirit. Please support our channel. Our work is to bring happiness in your life and devotion to God. And if you want, you can donate to us given link in description or pinned comment to show your support. I saw the nights you sat alone replaying your failures in your mind. I saw the exhaustion on your face when another year passed without the change you hoped for. I heard the heaviness in your prayers when you whispered, "Lord, what am I doing wrong?" My child, you were never doing life alone. Even when confusion clouded your vision, my hand remained on you. Even when you doubted yourself, I never doubted the purpose I placed inside you before you were born. The enemy wanted your waiting season to convince you that you were forgotten. But heaven never forgot your name for even 1 second. You must understand something deeply now. Delay does not mean absence. Silence does not mean abandonment. Waiting does not mean rejection. While you thought nothing was happening, I was carefully arranging details beyond what your eyes could see. I was aligning moments, people, protection, wisdom, and timing with precision that only heaven could accomplish. If I had moved too early, certain things would have destroyed your peace instead of blessing your life. If I had opened certain doors before your spirit was ready, the pressure behind those doors would have crushed you. You saw delay, but I saw mercy. You saw stillness, but I saw sacred preparation unfolding beneath the surface of your life. My child, many times you begged me to hurry because you thought your life was wasting away. But I needed you to grow roots before I released fruit. I needed your spirit to become stronger than your emotions. I needed your identity to stop depending on visible success and become anchored in my truth instead. Because where I am taking you, people will misunderstand you, criticize you, doubt you, and sometimes even envy what I place upon your life. If your confidence is built only on public validation, you will collapse under pressure later. So I allowed hidden seasons to build unshakable foundations inside your soul. I know it hurt watching others move ahead while you remained hidden. I know how lonely it felt when prayer seemed delayed month after month and year after year. There were moments you genuinely believed you had been left behind. There were mornings you woke up feeling emotionally numb because disappointment had worn your heart down slowly over time. You kept trying to stay hopeful, but deep inside you wondered if your breakthrough would ever arrive. My beloved child, I was there in every one of those moments. I sat beside you in every silent breakdown. I collected every tear you cried after pretending to be strong all day long. Not one sigh escaped your lips without me hearing it. There were also moments when shame entered your heart because you compared your progress to the progress of people around you. You questioned your worth because others appeared more successful, more established, more accomplished, or more celebrated than you. But my child, human success does not always reveal spiritual health. Many people are standing in places they were never spiritually prepared to handle. Many carry public applause while privately collapsing under pressure. Many smile outwardly while inwardly drowning in emptiness. Stop assuming that everyone ahead of you is truly at peace. Stop believing that visible achievement always equals fulfillment. I know the hearts of every person completely, and I tell you truthfully now. I have been protecting your soul even while you misunderstood my methods. You were asking me for elevation while I was focused on preservation first. You were focused on reaching the destination, but I was focused on shaping the traveler. Because what good would it be to gain success while losing your peace, your identity, your faith, or your spiritual sensitivity? I love you too much to allow temporary blessings to destroy eternal purpose. That is why I slowed certain things down. That is why some relationships failed. That is why some opportunities disappeared unexpectedly. That is why some plans collapsed right before they seemed ready to work out. None of it was random. I was redirecting your life away from hidden danger and toward divine alignment. The enemy whispered lies into your thoughts during those waiting seasons. He told you that you were too late. He told you that your best years were already gone. He told you other people were chosen while you remained overlooked. He tried to convince you that your hidden season was proof of failure. But my child, the enemy attacks most fiercely when destiny is near. Darkness became so aggressive against you because your future carries weight in the spiritual realm. The pressure you felt was not evidence that I abandoned you. It was evidence that something valuable was being prepared within you. Do you remember all the times you almost gave up completely? Do you remember the moments you wanted to stop praying because disappointment became too painful? I remember them all. Yet somehow, even in your weakest moments, I kept sustaining you. Even when you wanted to quit, something deep inside your spirit refused to fully let go. That was my presence holding you together when your own strength was gone. You survived seasons that should have broken you completely. You endured emotional battles that nobody around you fully understood. And still you are here listening to my voice now. That alone should remind you that my hand has never left your life. My beloved child, comparison has been stealing your peace for too long. I never asked you to become someone else. I never asked you to follow another person's path. Your journey carries unique timing because your assignment is unique. Some people bloom quickly but fade just as fast. Some structures rise rapidly but collapse because the foundation underneath was weak. But what I build carefully lasts. What I establish deeply survives storms. And what I prepare through hidden seasons carries strength that public applause alone could never create. I need you to release the belief that you are late. You are not late. You are not forgotten. You are not disqualified. You are not overlooked by heaven. Your story is unfolding according to divine timing, not human pressure. I know exactly where you are. I know exactly how long the process has felt. And I know exactly when the next season will begin. Nothing about your life has escaped my control. Even the painful delays are being woven together into a future testimony that will reveal my faithfulness in ways you cannot yet fully imagine. One day you will look back at this season differently. One day you will understand why certain prayers took longer to answer. One day you will see how many hidden dangers I protected you from. One day you will recognize that the waiting season built wisdom, endurance, humility, discernment, and spiritual depth that could not have formed any other way. And on that day, my child, you will no longer grieve the hidden years because you will finally understand they were never empty. They were holy preparation carried out by my own hands. So rest your weary heart now. Stop punishing yourself for not arriving according to the expectations of people around you. Stop measuring your value by worldly timelines. Stop believing the lie that your life has fallen behind schedule. I am the author of your story, and I have never lost control of the pages. Your appointed time still exists. Your purpose still breathes. Your future is still alive. And what I have spoken over your life cannot be canceled by delay, disappointment, fear, or human opinion. I am still writing your story, my precious child, and the chapters ahead will reveal why I allowed you to wait. My beloved child, there is something I need you to understand about the hidden season you have been walking through. You thought you were invisible. You thought people overlooked you because you were not important enough, talented enough, successful enough, or worthy enough to be noticed. But the truth is far deeper than what your pain allowed you to see. I hid you on purpose. I pulled you away from certain places intentionally. I closed doors deliberately. I allowed silence to surround parts of your life because there were things developing within you that needed protection before exposure. The hidden season was never proof that I abandoned you. It was proof that I was personally guarding your future with my own hands. You kept asking why life suddenly became quieter, why friendships changed, why opportunities disappeared, why you felt disconnected from places where you once felt comfortable. But my child, not every environment was safe for the destiny I placed inside you. There were rooms filled with hidden jealousy. There were people smiling outwardly, while secretly carrying wrong intentions in their hearts. There were conversations you were never meant to hear and paths you were never meant to follow. Because I could see dangers far beyond your understanding, I chose to hide you instead of exposing you too early. You wanted visibility while I focused on protection. You wanted recognition while I focused on preparation. You wanted immediate answers while I focused on preserving the deeper parts of your spirit. The world celebrates public success, but heaven values hidden formation first. A tree cannot survive strong storms if its roots remain shallow. So before I allowed your life to grow upward, I first began growing you downward into deeper wisdom, deeper faith, deeper discernment, and deeper dependence on me. Hidden seasons create roots that public seasons cannot create. You remember how painful isolation felt. I remember every moment. I saw you questioning why people stopped understanding you. I saw how lonely it became when old connections slowly faded away. Some people drifted from your life without explanation, and it wounded your heart deeply. But my child, many relationships ended because they were assigned only to a temporary chapter of your journey. Some people loved the version of you that remained small, insecure, dependent, or uncertain. But they would not have known how to handle the stronger version I was creating within you. So I quietly removed certain connections before they could interfere with the next season I prepared for you. Say amen. Fear loses today if courage rises in your heart. You interpreted separation as rejection, but heaven called it redirection. You thought losing certain people meant failure, but sometimes loss is the evidence of spiritual transition. Not everyone can walk with you into the places I have ordained for your future. Some individuals were sent only for a lesson, not for a lifetime. Some were assigned to reveal wounds still hidden inside your heart so healing could begin. Some expose your fears, insecurities, or unhealthy attachments so you could finally confront them honestly before me. Even painful relationships carried purpose within my greater design. There were also moments when you felt frustrated because your gifts remained unnoticed. You wondered why others received opportunities while your own talents stayed hidden in silence. But my child, I was protecting you from premature exposure. If I had elevated you before your spirit matured, pride could have entered your heart unnoticed. If I had opened doors too early, pressure could have broken you emotionally. If public recognition had arrived before private healing, hidden wounds inside you would have eventually surfaced under the weight of responsibility. So I chose hiddenness not to punish you, but to preserve you. The enemy wanted your hidden season to convince you that your life carried no significance. Darkness whispered lies saying, if you were truly chosen, things would happen faster. If God really loved you, your prayers would already be answered. If your purpose mattered, people would recognize you by now. But my beloved child, the enemy misunderstands hidden seasons because he only judges visible movement. Heaven often performs its deepest work in secret places where human eyes cannot see. Before David stood as king publicly, he was hidden privately in fields where almost nobody noticed him. Before Joseph ruled in authority, he walked through prisons and forgotten seasons that appeared meaningless to human understanding. Before great callings emerge openly, hidden preparation always comes first. You thought nothing was happening because you could not see visible results. But while you were waiting, I was teaching your spirit how to survive disappointment without losing faith. I was teaching you how to trust me without constant reassurance. I was teaching you how to pray even when answers felt delayed. I was teaching you how to stand emotionally when circumstances remained uncertain. These lessons cannot fully develop during comfortable seasons. Hidden seasons teach dependence upon me in ways success never could. My child, there were nights you cried because you felt left behind while others celebrated milestones you longed to experience yourself. Engagements, opportunities, promotions, breakthroughs, financial stability, recognition, relationships, answered prayers. You watched others receive what your heart secretly desired. And slowly discouragement tried to settle over your soul like heavy fog. But what you did not realize was this: I was keeping you hidden because the blessing prepared for you required a different level of spiritual maturity than what you possessed at the time. You were not being denied. You were being developed. I know hidden seasons can feel humiliating sometimes, especially when people ask questions you cannot answer, especially when others assume your silence means failure, especially when it feels like your life is moving slower than everyone around you. But my child, I never measure your worth by public visibility. Human applause does not determine heaven's approval. Some of the holiest growth happens quietly where nobody else notices it. The deepest transformations happen in hidden places where only you and I can fully see what is changing inside your heart. You also need to understand this clearly. Hiding is not the same as abandonment. A seed hidden underground is not dead. It is developing. Roots are spreading beneath the surface long before visible fruit appears. The hidden process may look inactive from the outside, but unseen growth is happening continuously. That is exactly what has been happening in your life. Every painful lesson, every lonely night, every unanswered question, Every delayed opportunity has been strengthening your roots for the future I already prepared ahead of you. I hid you because I knew the warfare attached to your future assignment. I knew certain attacks would intensify once your life became more visible. So before exposure, I trained your spirit privately. Before promotion, I strengthened your discernment. Before release, I deepened your dependence upon me. Because if you do not know how to survive hidden battles privately, public pressure will overwhelm you later. The hidden season was training ground for the next chapter of your life. My beloved child, there were moments you begged me to remove the loneliness. But loneliness often becomes the sacred place where my voice grows clearest. I allowed silence around you because too many voices had distracted your spirit before. Too many opinions shaped your identity. Too much noise clouded your discernment. So I slowly removed distractions until your soul could hear me again without confusion. In hiddenness, I began healing wounds you kept covering with busyness, relationships, entertainment, ambition, and constant activity. I brought you into quieter places because healing often begins where distractions finally end. Even now, parts of you still fear being forgotten forever. Parts of you still wonder if your hidden season will ever end. But listen to me carefully now. I never hide something valuable without purpose. Precious things are protected carefully. Sacred things are covered intentionally. I hid you because your destiny carries weight that cannot be handled carelessly. The process has felt long because what I am building within you is lasting. Temporary things rise quickly and disappear just as fast. But what heaven establishes deeply survives storms, pressure, betrayal, delay, and opposition. One day people will see what I was building in secret. One day they will witness doors opening that no human effort could force open. One day they will wonder how your life shifted so suddenly. But they will not know the hidden years where your spirit was forged through tears, waiting, surrender, disappointment, prayer, and quiet obedience. They will only see the visible blessing, but you will remember the hidden preparation that came first. So stop despising the hidden season, my child. Stop treating it like punishment. Stop believing silence means absence. I was closer to you in hiddenness than you realized. I was shaping your future carefully while protecting you from things your heart could not yet fully understand. And when the appointed time arrives, the same hidden season that once confused you will become the very testimony that proves my wisdom was greater than your understanding all along. My beloved child, while you were asking me why life felt so difficult, I was quietly building strength inside your spirit that could not be developed any other way. You saw pain, but I saw transformation. You saw delay, but I saw depth forming within you. You thought your life was standing still while everyone else moved ahead, but heaven was intensely active beneath the surface of your journey. Every tear, every disappointment, every betrayal, every unanswered prayer, every lonely season was shaping parts of your soul that would become essential for the future I prepared specifically for you. I know there were moments when you felt emotionally exhausted beyond words. You grew tired of trying to stay hopeful while carrying invisible battles nobody fully understood. You became weary from pretending everything was fine while secretly fighting fear, discouragement, uncertainty, and silent heartbreak deep inside your heart. There were days when you smiled outwardly but inwardly wondered how much longer you could continue carrying so much emotional weight. Yet even in those moments, my child, I was still working within you. I was strengthening muscles in your spirit that comfort and ease could never develop. You wanted me to remove every painful situation immediately, but some struggles were creating wisdom inside you. Some disappointments were teaching you discernment. Some heartbreaks were exposing wounds that still needed healing. Some delays were humbling areas of pride you did not even realize existed. My child, I do not waste suffering. I know how to take what the enemy intended to destroy you with and transform it into strength, maturity, compassion, endurance, and spiritual authority. Do you remember how easily certain things once controlled your emotions? There was a time when rejection completely shattered your peace. There was a time when the opinions of people determined your confidence. There was a time when one disappointment could steal your hope for weeks. But slowly, through hidden battles and painful lessons, your spirit began changing. You became stronger in places where you once felt fragile. You began depending on me more deeply because circumstances forced you to realize human strength alone could not sustain you forever. That transformation did not happen overnight. It was built quietly through repeated moments of surrender. My beloved child, hidden seasons reveal what still controls the heart. When distractions disappear and silence grows louder, buried emotions finally rise to the surface. Fear, insecurity, anger, loneliness, disappointment, bitterness, impatience. All the things hidden beneath constant activity become impossible to ignore anymore. That is why hidden seasons often feel uncomfortable. I was not trying to shame you. I was exposing areas of your soul that needed healing before the next chapter of your life could begin. You prayed for purpose, but purpose requires preparation. You prayed for influence, but influence requires character. You prayed for blessings, but blessings require wisdom to carry them correctly. I could not release certain things into your life while hidden wounds still controlled your reactions emotionally. So instead of rushing you forward prematurely, I slowed things down and began rebuilding your inner foundation carefully. Because, my child, outward success without inward stability eventually collapses under pressure. There were moments when you thought the battle was only external, but many of your deepest battles were internal. The enemy tried to convince you that your value depended on achievement. He whispered lies saying you were only important if people recognized you, celebrated you, desired you, or approved of you. But through hidden seasons, I began teaching you a deeper truth. Your identity cannot be rooted in temporary human validation. Your worth was established by me long before anyone applauded your existence. You are valuable because I created you intentionally, not because the world constantly confirms it. I know the process felt painful at times. Healing always requires confronting what has been buried too long. There were wounds from childhood, wounds from rejection, wounds from betrayal, wounds from abandonment, wounds from failure, wounds from words spoken over your life by people who never understood your destiny. Some of those wounds quietly shaped your thinking for years without you realizing it fully. They influenced your fears, your relationships, your confidence, and your expectations about the future. But hidden seasons gave me access to places inside your heart that constant busyness previously kept covered. You also struggled with frustration because growth rarely feels dramatic while it is happening. You wanted visible proof that something was changing. But spiritual development often happens silently before outward evidence appears. A tree does not grow strongest during storms because storms are comfortable. It grows stronger because resistance forces roots deeper into the ground. Likewise, your spirit has been growing deeper through resistance, waiting, pressure, and uncertainty. The very things you wanted removed immediately were often strengthening you internally. My child, I was teaching you endurance. The world teaches people to quit when things become uncomfortable. But endurance produces stability. Endurance teaches faithfulness during silence. Endurance teaches trust when emotions fluctuate. Endurance teaches perseverance when visible answers remain delayed. I knew the future ahead of you would require more strength than your current version possessed. So instead of allowing temporary emotions to lead your decisions, I began teaching your spirit how to remain anchored even during difficult seasons. There were also moments when loneliness forced you to discover my presence more personally than before. When people could not fully understand your pain, I remained beside you. When nobody else knew what to say, I listened to every silent cry. When exhaustion overwhelmed your heart, I carried you through days you barely had strength to survive emotionally. My child, you survived because my grace continued sustaining you even when your own strength felt completely depleted. The hidden work happening inside you was sacred. Every time you chose prayer instead of bitterness, your spirit became stronger. Every time you forgave despite deep hurt, your spirit became freer. Every time you kept trusting me while answers remained delayed, your roots grew deeper. Every time disappointment tried to harden your heart but you continued seeking me anyway, transformation continued unfolding quietly within your soul. The world may not have seen your hidden victories, but heaven celebrated every one of them. Comment Amen. Grace found me if you're living proof of His love. And share this video.